Every year, thousands of travelers over 60 walk into airport security carrying something that could get them stopped, searched, or even have their belongings confiscated. And, the worst part, most of them have no idea they're doing anything wrong. They packed carefully. They followed what they thought were the rules, but what they didn't realize is that the rules changed. And in 2026, what you don't know about medications and electronics at the airport can turn a simple trip into a full-blown nightmare. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what TSA is looking for, what customs agents overseas will flag immediately, and the one packing mistake that puts your health at risk before you even land. Stick around until the end, because the last section might be the most important thing you hear before your next flight. Let's start with the rule that matters more than anything else. Your medication should never go in a checked bag. I don't care if it's a bottle of blood pressure pills or a full month's supply of insulin, it goes in your carry-on and it stays with you. The reason is simple. Checked bags get lost, they get delayed, or sometimes they don't even make it onto the same flight. And if your medication is sitting in a suitcase circling a baggage carousel in the wrong city, you're stuck. No pharmacy nearby is going to hand you a refill without proof. And if you're overseas, the brand names might not even match what you take at home. But there's another reason most people don't think about: temperature. The cargo hold of an airplane is not climate controlled the same way the cabin is. It can drop below freezing, and insulin that freezes is destroyed. Certain liquid medications lose their effectiveness when they're exposed to extreme cold for hours. Even some pills can degrade. Your carry-on is the one bag that never leaves your side. It's accessible mid-flight if you need a dose. It stays in a temperature-controlled environment, and it can't vanish into some airline's lost luggage system. This is non-negotiable. If you need it to function, it flies with you in the cabin. Now, here's where it gets tricky and where a lot of travelers get caught off guard. Inside the United States, TSA does not care about your pill organizer. You can walk through security with one of those weekly Monday through Sunday cases and nobody blinks. But the second you step off a plane in another country, that same organizer becomes a red flag. International customs agents want to see labels. They want your name on the bottle. They want a doctor's name and a pharmacy stamp. A plastic case full of loose, unlabeled pills looks suspicious. And in some countries, it can trigger a very uncomfortable conversation, or worse, they confiscate your medication entirely. Now imagine standing at a customs desk in a country where you don't speak the language, trying to explain that the unmarked white pills in your bag are just blood pressure medication. You have no label, no doctor's note, and no way to prove it. That situation escalates fast, but luckily, the fix is simple. Always bring your original pharmacy bottles every time you travel. The label is instant proof that what you're carrying is legitimate, prescribed, and belongs to you. It takes up a little more space in your bag, but it eliminates questions before they even start. And if you're carrying larger quantities, say, enough for a month-long trip or more, bring a doctor's note as well, not a photocopy. A signed letter on official letterhead that lists every medication, the dosage, and the condition it's treating. That one sheet of paper is your get-out-of-trouble-free card at any border checkpoint on the planet. Some travelers even carry a translated version if they're heading to a non-English speaking country. That's next level, and it works. Quick question for you. Drop a comment and tell me, do you use a pill organizer when you travel, or do you stick with the original bottles? I'm genuinely curious to see your responses. Now, medication rules go deeper than most people realize. And this next part is something even frequent flyers miss completely. If you're carrying medical liquids, think cough syrup, insulin, prescription creams, gel packs, even ice packs to keep insulin cold, they are exempt from the 3.4-ounce rule. That means you can bring more than what fits in that tiny quart-sized bag. But there's a catch. You have to declare them. When you get to the front of the security line, you separate your medical liquids from your regular toiletries, put them in a clear pouch, and tell the TSA officer, these are medical liquids. Say it clearly, say it calmly. They'll screen them separately, sometimes just a quick visual check, sometimes a brief swab test. But here's what you absolutely cannot do: hide them. If TSA finds undeclared medical liquids buried inside your bag, it triggers a full bag search. Now you're standing there while they go through everything you packed, holding up the line, feeling embarrassed, and wondering why you didn't just say something up front. The same goes for syringes. Yes, you can fly with syringes for insulin, EpiPens, and inhalers, but they must travel with the medication they belong to. A syringe without its matching medication looks like something entirely different to a security officer. Keep them together in a hard case, clearly labeled, and you won't have a single issue. And if you wear an insulin pump or a continuous glucose monitor, just let the officer know. You don't have to remove it. You don't have to go through the body scanner if you're concerned about it interfering with your device. Request a pat-down instead. It's your right, and TSA officers are trained for it. A quick heads up is all it takes. Now let's talk about the part of airport security that confuses almost everyone: electronics. Because in 2026, the rules are stricter than they've ever been, and every device in your bag has its own set of regulations. Let's start with the one that catches the most people. If you own a suitcase with a built-in charger or GPS tracker, listen carefully. The battery inside that suitcase must be removable. Airlines now require that you can eject it with one finger, no tools, no prying, no fumbling, and if your flight gets rerouted and you're forced to gate check that bag at the last second, you have to rip that battery out before you hand it over. If you can't remove it, the bag doesn't go, it stays behind, and you're boarding the plane without your luggage. So before you buy a smart suitcase, check the battery mechanism. If it takes more than 5 seconds to pop out, that suitcase is a liability, not a convenience. CPAP machines, carry them on, always. They're expensive, they're essential, and the cargo hold is no place for medical equipment. Here's a bonus. Most travelers don't know. A CPAP machine does not count as your personal item or your carry-on. It's classified as a medical device, which means it's an extra free bag. You still get your carry-on, you still get your personal item, and your CPAP rides on top of that with no extra fee. Spare medical batteries for your CPAP often exceed normal size limits, but they're allowed as long as they're in your carry-on and protected from short-circuiting. Tape over the terminals or keep them in the original packaging. A loose battery bouncing around in a bag is a fire hazard at 35,000 feet, and airlines take that very seriously. Portable oxygen concentrators. This one has a rule that trips people up constantly. If you need supplemental oxygen on a flight, your portable concentrator must carry enough battery life to last 150% of your total flight time. Not 100%, 150%. So if your flight is 4 hours, you need 6 hours of battery power, fully charged, before you board. Airlines will check, and if your battery falls short, you're not getting on that plane. Always bring a spare battery, charge everything the night before. And double check with your specific airline ahead of time, because some carriers have an approved device list. If your concentrator isn't on it, they can deny boarding even if it's fully charged and FAA approved. Now, mobility devices. If you're traveling with a collapsible electric wheelchair or a travel scooter, the battery rules depend entirely on the type. Lithium-ion batteries under 300 watt-hours can fly, but they must be removed from the device, carried in the cabin, and have their terminals protected. Wet cell or spillable batteries require even more paperwork and airline coordination. You may need to notify the airline 48 hours in advance. And here's the painful truth. Checked mobility devices get damaged all the time. Airlines are legally required to return them in working condition, but legally required and actually happens are two very different things. If your device has removable components like joystick covers, footrests, or cushions, take them off and carry them with you. Photograph your device before you hand it over. That photo is your evidence if something goes wrong. Hearing aids. If yours uses the old-school zinc air batteries with the sticker tabs, pack them anywhere you want, carry-on or checked. But if you've upgraded to the newer rechargeable cases, those run on lithium batteries, and the charger case has to ride in your carry-on, no exceptions. And here's a tip. Hearing aids can set off the metal detector, which isn't a big deal, but it helps to tell the TSA officer before you walk through. A quick "I'm wearing hearing aids" saves you from an unnecessary secondary screening, and it doesn't stop there. Some of the most common travel items are the ones that cause the most problems at security. Take cordless straighteners, the kind that run on butane cartridges. TSA treats butane as a pressurized gas, which means in a checked bag, it's classified the same as a hazardous material. You can bring one in your carry-on, but only if there's a safety cover over the heating element. And that spare butane refill cartridge you packed just in case can get confiscated on the spot. No warnings, no exceptions. Heated vests are another one. The vest itself is just fabric, which is totally fine, but that battery pack clipped inside is pure lithium. You can check the vest, but you must unplug the battery, remove it completely, and carry it with you in the cabin. If you forget and leave it connected, you've just put a lithium fire risk in the cargo hold. And those battery packs aren't always obvious. Some are sewn into interior pockets. Check before you pack. Electric toothbrushes. This one sounds ridiculous, but it happens more than you'd think. They turn on inside checked bags, the vibration sets off alarms. Baggage handlers hear buzzing coming from a suitcase, and suddenly your bag is getting treated like a potential threat. Tape the power button down or use a hard travel case. Same goes for electric razors. Use the travel lock if it has one. Or just keep it in your carry-on where you can explain the noise if it starts up. And tablets, e-readers, Kindles, never check them. Those large flat batteries can be punctured if a heavy suitcase lands on them in the cargo hold. That's a fire waiting to happen. All screens stay in the cabin. Here's something most people never even think about, but it matters more than you'd expect. TSA isn't just scanning your bags, they're scanning you. The way you act in the security line tells them everything they need to know. They're trained in behavioral detection. Look nervous, fidget too much, avoid eye contact, and you've just put yourself on their radar. That doesn't mean you need to be some kind of smooth operator. It means you stay calm, stay polite, and follow the flow. Quick, confident eye contact, not too much, not too little. Answer questions simply and directly. Don't over-explain. Where are you headed? Gets a one-word answer. London. Not a 5-minute story about your granddaughter's wedding. Don't crack jokes, especially not jokes about weapons or bombs. It sounds obvious, but every single year, people get detained for making a wisecrack they thought was harmless. TSA has zero sense of humor about that stuff, and they're not required to. Even sarcastic comments like, "Yeah, I've got a bomb in there," said as a joke, can result in you missing your flight entirely while they investigate. The more relaxed and prepared you look, the faster you get through. And here's a resource most travelers don't know exists: the TSA Cares program. If you have a medical condition, a disability, or you just need extra help getting through security, call them 72 hours before your flight. They'll assign someone to walk you through the entire process, from the checkpoint to your gate. It's free, it's easy, and it takes all the stress out of the equation. The number is 855-787-2227. Save it in your phone right now. Now, the part that almost nobody prepares for, and it's the one that can derail your entire trip. Time zones mess with your medication schedule, and if you're taking something critical like blood pressure meds, diabetes medication, blood thinners, skipping a dose because you figured you'd catch up later can cause serious problems. Your body doesn't care what time zone you're in. It needs that medication on schedule. Say you take your blood pressure pill every morning at 8 a.m. You fly from New York to London. That's a 5-hour jump forward. Do you take it at 8 a.m. London time or New York time? Do you skip a dose? Double up? The wrong answer can spike your blood pressure or drop it too low. Before you travel, talk to your doctor. Get a specific written plan for how to adjust your dosing across time zones. It's a 5-minute conversation that could prevent a medical emergency at 30,000 feet. Set alarms on your phone in both your home time zone and your destination time zone. That way you always know exactly where you stand. And while we're at it, that free glass of wine they hand you on the plane, think twice. Alcohol at altitude hits harder than it does on the ground. The cabin pressure is equivalent to sitting at 6,000 to 8,000 feet of elevation. Your body absorbs alcohol faster, and the effects are stronger. Now, combine that with medication, drowsiness, dizziness, nausea, and with some drugs, it can strain your liver or your heart. Blood thinners and alcohol together, that's a bleeding risk. Sleep aids and alcohol, that can suppress your breathing. Even melatonin and herbal sleep remedies, the ones people think are harmless, can clash with prescription medications, causing confusion, extreme drowsiness, or dangerous drops in blood pressure. If you're on anything, check with your pharmacist before you fly. A 2-minute phone call is all it takes. Water is almost always the smarter choice. Stay hydrated, skip the alcohol, and you'll land feeling like a human being instead of a wreck. And here's the scenario nobody wants to think about, but everyone should prepare for. What happens if you run out of medication overseas? Maybe your trip got extended, maybe a bottle spilled, maybe your luggage was delayed for 3 days and your backup supply was in it. Most countries will let a pharmacy issue an emergency refill, but only with proof. A photo of your prescription label, a signed doctor's note, even a picture of the pill bottle showing your name and the dosage. Take those photos before you leave home. Open your medicine cabinet, line up every bottle, and snap a photo of each label. Store them in a dedicated folder on your phone. Email copies to yourself so you can access them from any device anywhere in the world. It takes 10 seconds per bottle, and it could save your entire trip. Without proof, you're stuck with whatever over-the-counter substitute they can offer, and in many countries, that might not exist. Your specific brand, your specific dosage, may not be available. Some medications that are common in the United States aren't even approved in other countries. You could spend an entire day going from pharmacy to pharmacy with nothing to show for it. Don't count on airport pharmacies either. They're limited, they're overpriced, and they rarely stock specialized medications. They carry aspirin, antacids, and maybe basic antibiotics. If you need something specific, they won't have it. Always pack more than you think you need from home. The general rule is to bring enough medication for your entire trip, plus an extra week's supply. If your trip is 2 weeks, pack 3 weeks of medication. That buffer has saved more travelers than any other piece of advice I can give you. So, here's the bottom line. Every single rule in this video comes down to one principle. If you need it, it never leaves your side. Your medication stays in your carry-on, your batteries stay in the cabin, your documents, your prescriptions, your proof, all of it travels with you, not under the plane. Screenshot this checklist right now. Original pharmacy bottles with labels for every medication, doctor's note on official letterhead for large quantities, medical liquids declared and separated in a clear pouch. All lithium batteries in your carry-on, terminals covered. Smart suitcase batteries removable in one motion. CPAP carried on as a free medical device, never checked. Portable oxygen concentrator charged to 150% of your flight time. Photos of every prescription label saved on your phone and emailed to yourself. Medication schedule adjusted for time zones with your doctor's guidance. TSA cares number saved. 855-787-2227. That's it. That's your entire airport survival kit for 2026. Do this, and you walk through security like you own the place. Calm, confident, and completely prepared. If this video helped you, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. I make these specifically for travelers like you, people who want real answers, not vague advice. Drop a comment and tell me the one thing you learned today that you didn't know before. I read every single one. Stay safe, travel smart, and I'll see you in the next video.